Turkey in these years was on the level of high leadership, discussing from time to time what to do with the Armenian case, both with Armenian diaspora and later on when there was the Karabakh movement and independence of Armenia, what to do with Armenia. But Turkey at the time is very different from Turkey today. At the time, we had not seen independent Armenian voices talking about who we are in Turkey. At the time, the image of the Armenians, after being forgotten and erased from memory for many decades, re-emerged with the terrorist attacks of Armenian groups. So this was a period from 75 to 85, where Turkey, both as public opinion as well as leadership, had to confront with this sudden kind of surprise that there are militants, activists, terrorists attacking us because of something which initially we didn't know what it was, because we had forgotten about the Armenians. And then when this movement dies down, basically it destroys itself, that's what happened, there's a second violent group emerging, PKK, where again in the imagination of the Turkish, both public and the elite, is associated with Armenians, because we tried to find hidden Armenians in PKK to associate this with this image of the other being by excellence Armenians. So there's this very definite mood in Turkey at the time, which is even more exacerbated with the collapse of socialism in Eastern Europe and in the Soviet Union, and with the emergence of ethnic violence, which is not only ethnic, it's also confessional. It's also Muslim-Christian in certain cases, like in Bosnia. Ethnic and confessional identities overlap sometimes. And then there's the emergence of conflicts in the Caucasus, which brings back also very negative memories, strong anxieties to the Turkish public, also issues which have not been worked and confronted, this anxiety of the past and what happens to these communities, knowing that Turkey has large segments of its population, including its elites, being of Muhajirs origins, both from the Balkans and the Caucasus. So when the Karabakh conflict emerges in late 80s, early 90s, there's already a certain emotional kind of predisposition in Turkey. And even before Karabakh gets very much into total war and Armenian forces go out of the limits of Karabakh and occupy territories around Karabakh, first being Lachin and second being Kelbajar. Even before that, Turkey has very kind of at least suspicious position towards Armenia. Although Turkey is the first state which recognized independence of Armenia, but it didn't establish, for example, in late 91, early 92, during 92, Turkey could have established diplomatic relations with Armenia, could have opened border and so on, but it didn't do that. And the issue is Karabakh, but more than Karabakh. I think Karabakh is only added later. Turkey also had issues with Armenia, being that Armenia should recognize the Kars Treaty, the actual border, the fact that Armenia would not raise issues related with the genocide recognition and so on. So all these determined certain policies led to certain policies in Turkey. And I would say that Turkey became part of the conflict. First, during the conflict, Turkey gave military aid to Azerbaijan. There were a number of former generals, officers who were on the Azerbaijani side, arms going there, and then later the blockade. So, and politically, Turkey adopted also a position which supports Azerbaijani perspective that the solution of the conflict should be according to what Azerbaijan was saying. Now, I want to come to the second part, which is Azerbaijan taking over the discourse of genocide and making it its own. And I want to mention just two symbolic moments. One is in March 1998, with a decree, official decree from the president of Azerbaijan, announcing the Day of Genocide of Azerbaijanis. And the document is on the internet. You can go and visit and have a look. It's not a historical kind of specific event. It mentions all the ills that modern Azerbaijan imagines it suffered. It starts with Turkmenchai Agreement, for example, where there's no Armenia and no Azerbaijan. It's between Tsarist and Safavid empires, but this is mentioned as a starting point, and from there on, series of historical events, more or less, which is attributed as bad behavior from Azerbaijan wanting to destroy, from Armenian side, wanting to destroy Azerbaijan and its people. So there's this kind of parallelism between Armenian identity and specifically how Azerbaijan imagines Armenians to be and imagines the strong point of the Armenians. Because the other point is that the state of Azerbaijan actively tries to support structures abroad to create an Azerbaijani diaspora, thinking that the two strong points of Armenians is genocide on the one hand and diaspora on the other. So Azerbaijan wants to have something similar to that. And on the genocide side, apart from this decree, there's the day of Khojaly massacre, which is commemorated every day and put forward as the day of